Hey everyone, it's Richie and welcome to Resident Evil 7. Now, we are not actually going to be playing this full game. I'm just going to be walking around and just talking about a few things about the game. Mostly my experience with it and how it basically got me into YouTube and just a few things leading up to Resident Evil Village. So, where to begin? Well, this game came out in 2017 and you know, I have to be honest with you guys, it couldn't have come at a better time because 2017 was the year where my life absolutely changed. Now, to give you guys some context, you know, I'd also left university and just started a new job. And for me, you know, that was quite terrifying because I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I had no idea where I was going. I was a little upset with where I was in life, which was nowhere because I had spent, you know, most of the years prior to that in debt and just struggling with my classes, my grades, and, you know, things were not really going too well for me. But, you know, like I said, started a new job and, you know, it was pretty kick-ass going after different customer sites, things like steel mills, cogen sites, and yeah, it was just a really cool job. I mean, I basically worked for, geez, I think almost 4 years. I worked like 4 days a week. To me, it was like the most kick-ass job in the world. I mean, I got rained on, hailed on, in the southern hemisphere, you know, winter's in the middle of the year. So, and it rains during that time of year as well where I am. You know, you think about it, you're wet, you're cold, but you have to work. And I mean, hey, I secretly loved it. You know, that job really allowed me to just have the freedom, I think, to just get out and do the things that I wanted to do, because that job had me on the road and then obviously being outside and stuff. So my mood was always good, and I just then discovered that those are basically the jobs that I have to stick to, because man, if I'm inside of an office for too long, I just lose my mind. So anyway, that was really cool. But where things actually started to change is when a friend of mine and I, good friend of mine, you know, he was staying in this place, like a one-bedroom studio type flat on the side of someone's house down a very quiet street not too far from where I lived. I mean, when I say not too far, I mean, it was less than a 5-minute drive. And somehow, through few friendly connections and that, ended up meeting up with all these people who they were here, I guess, to work and to tour around the country. And I mean, I'm talking about people from Norway, Germany, Sweden, France, you know, and so I ended up making quite a lot of friends. And man, we just had the most insane parties every weekend, and I just kind of wish that I could give you a glimpse what all of that was like, because it was just the most amazing thing. I mean, for the first time in my life, I was so happy, I was so relaxed, I was so peaceful, and I actually kind of enjoyed my job, if I'm honest with you. You think about it, on a Monday morning until Thursday, Fridays I used to go in a little bit later, just go do some admin stuff and whatever in the office, get everything ready for the following week, and then that was it, had the rest of the day off. It was a pretty kick-ass job, despite the fact that I got rained and hailed on all the time. And I remember the accounts manager, she said to me, and she was awesome to me, she was always so kind, and you know, she always just made sure that I was looked after and stuff. And I remember her just looking at me one afternoon. I was just absolutely soaked, and she was just like, yep, I'm definitely glad it's you who's going out and not me. I said, thanks, thank you very much, I feel so much better about myself. But no, it was actually a kick-ass job, I really enjoyed it, and I was just, I think, a bit gutted when, you know, when the pandemic hit, a lot of the customer sites that I used to service actually started to fire a lot of their own staff. And so that meant that they were now running at lower capacity, and that basically put me out of a job. I mean, I could have stayed, you know, with the company that I was with, but there just wasn't really a lot of work available, so it just wouldn't have been very, very smart. And So yeah, it was time to move on. But, you know, sort of going back to 2017, I mean, I just remember playing this game for the first time. Now, to give you guys some context, I hadn't played video games in a very long time. I mean, like a very, very long time. And, you know, it was just the weirdest thing ever that the first time I was going to play video games again was going to be playing this game and playing it on VR. And what an exhilarating but absolutely positively terrifying experience. But I was just blown away with everything. I was blown away with, you know, how real everything looked, how real everything felt. You know, when I was walking around here for the first time, I kept thinking, wow, look at the couch, look at the table, you know, look at where the TV's supposed to go. Oh my goodness, like, I couldn't believe it. It was just incredible. And then, like, you would pick objects up. Okay, can't pick these up. But, you know, there's other objects you could pick up and inspect. And, yeah, I just felt like, you know, that was the coolest thing ever. I suppose what I'm trying to say is I have a lot of really good memories with this game. And I don't know how you guys feel about video games, but for me, I'm actually an actor at heart, so I tend to get pretty involved in movies, books, games. I get pretty emotionally involved. I mean, even anime, especially anime, actually, I get very, very emotionally involved. And so if there's a really good anime or a really good game like this, I don't say I get emotionally attached. I just get, well, yeah, emotionally involved. So, you know, when this game was over, I did kind of feel a little bit empty inside, and maybe perhaps, like, you know, there was just something missing when it finished. But I suppose that's life, you know, you gotta learn to move on. But yeah, I fell in love with the mansion and just thought, man, I would love to live in a sort of a more simplistic farm home. Definitely much smaller than this. I don't think I could live in a massive home. It's just doesn't appeal to me. I'm not really a big fan of big mansions. I appreciate the architecture, and every time I walk into one I think, wow, you know, what an impressive place. But I would never want to live in one. I just want my simple farmhouse on a nice plot of land, probably close to the ocean. And that's it, man. Just simple life, eh? And that's the thing I also liked about this game, is just the realism of it. I mean, you could actually end up, you know, on an estate like this, probably in the south, with a crazy family that's trying to kill you. And there are horror stories like that, like true stories of that kind of stuff happening. Not always in the south, you know, come on, gotta give the other states a chance. But that is quite terrifying, you know, just, oh goodness, you know, just, can you just not? I saw that, and then the head, and I was just, it's a person, kill him. I never noticed that before. That's the first time I've ever noticed this. I mean, I might have seen it once before, but this is the first time I ever recall it. Wow. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, just the realism of the game. You know, I think that that's what made it so terrifying, is you don't have all these crazy high-tech weapons. You know, okay, except for this, but you only get this when you finish the game. The first weapon you get is this Glock. And you basically have to fight your way through the house with it with limited ammunition. And that's scary. You know, you have to manage your inventory really, really, really well. But it's these quiet moments in the game that I loved so much. You know, like being able to walk through this, what do they call this? The recreation room. And just thinking, wow, could you imagine if this was your home and you had an entire room like this just dedicated to entertainment? I mean, that'd be so rad. I'd love that. You know, I guess that's what happens when you have such a big home. But yeah, this game really touched me emotionally. I mean, I can't explain to you just, I know there's going to be some of you out there who will understand exactly what I'm saying, and I'm so grateful for people like you, because I never know how to explain, you know, what it is that I'm feeling, or, you know, what it is that I'm thinking sometimes. But this game definitely, I mean, I'll give an example. Imagine you're in like a, what do you call it, a 3D environment, this headset on, you've got your headphones, and you can hear everything spatially. It's crazy. Like, you hear the windows going, and you hear it, okay? And you busy walking along here, and you have no idea what's around the corner. You even can gear up like this, get ready, and then friggin' Jack or something comes around the corner. It is just both terrifying and just super exciting. I can only explain it like that. There's just something about playing these games where you're getting scared that I love it, you know? But, yeah, you know, these games do have a very special place in my heart, and, you know, I don't think there will ever be a game that will ever come close to impacting me the way that this game did. And I don't say never, I just really say probably, because you never know what's going to get released. But this game will probably always be in my top 2. It's the game that made me want to start YouTube. It's the game that got me back into playing video games and made me want to go back to acting, and made me fall in love with theater. And man, ever since playing this game, everything's just been different. My whole life has just been different. This game really did change me. Do you guys have that experience? Do any of you feel like that, where a game has changed you and you've just felt like nothing has been the same since, but like in a really good way? You feel like it's awakened you. It's actually awakened who you really are. That's how I felt with this game. I just felt like it actually awakened something inside of me. And for once, I actually just genuinely felt like I was now doing what it is I was supposed to be doing my whole life. I mean, geez, walking out of here for the first time, that was a surreal experience, because I've been on a lot of farms and stuff, you know, that maybe not as swampy like this, but they do have quite a... Oh, I thought that was something. Well, it is a something, but I thought it was a dangerous something. It might be a dangerous something if we eat it. The realism of it, to think like this could actually be a place that you'd end up in, and then you'd have to fight your way out of it. I mean, you don't know. You have absolutely no idea where you might end up. But one of the other places I really liked, and this also became one of my favorite places, was the trailer. What I always thought to myself was, how cool would it be to have a trailer like this, or a caravan like this, and you just go and do some road tripping, man? I think that would be the coolest thing ever. Go see a bunch of places. You basically can live your normal life. I'd have like surfboards and stuff like racked up on the roof. Yeah, I don't really think there was anything too majorly important or, you know, overly serious that I wanted to discuss. I just really wanted people to know where I'm at going into Resident Evil Village. You know, this Resident Evil 7, you know, made a massive impact on my life. And, you know, now going into Village, I'm sort of expecting a similar emotional engagement. And I don't want to hold high hopes in case it doesn't, I guess, live up to expectations. But, you know, considering that it is somewhat a continuation of this story, I guess one can expect at least a similar kind of outcome. I don't know. But let me know if any of you guys also have experiences like that with video games, like games that have just changed your life, games that have just, you know, really helped you sort of figure out what it is that you actually want to do in life. Because as I said, this game helped me figure out that I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not an engineer, I'm an entertainer. That's what I am. It's what I've always been. You ask anyone who grew up with me, I was always the class clown. I was always acting and doing silly voices, and you know, I'm hoping to bring some of that stuff into my YouTube channel, but I kind of just thought for my first year and a bit, it's like, let's just get established first. Let's just get some videos going, you know, let's just get comfortable with the fact that my face, you know, is now on the internet. Didn't really want to say anything else other than, you know, this game changed everything for me. That year, you will hear me say that for a very long time. That year, 2017, man. The wildest parties and, you know, just meeting so many new people from all over the world. So yeah, I mean, this game really had just changed everything for me, and I felt that in playing it, you know, I had become Ethan Winters. I felt like, you know, his story had become mine, and that this game was like a representation of the things that I was going through and the obstacles I was overcoming. And so upon completing the game, you could imagine I felt a great deal of satisfaction and emotional relief, because it was tough, you know. I had left university, gone through a breakup, started a new job, all of that stuff all at once, like within the space of a month. Someone like me whose emotions go up and down, and now I'm not moody or anything, like I don't just flip moods. It's more just like I feel stuff very deeply. So, you know, when somebody does something as simple as, I don't know, just giving me like a really sincere compliment. I'm not just talking about like the general stuff like, oh, hey, your hair looks nice today. Like if somebody gives a genuine compliment, it could be about my hair. I don't know. I don't really care about my physical appearance too much. I mean, you should see what I wear. I wear shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of winter. That's how much I don't care about my appearance. And I kind of somewhat don't get bothered by the cold. I do feel the cold. I just don't really let it bother me. How does that even work? Does that even make sense? I don't care if it makes sense, but it should make, you know what? Just forget about it. But anyway, like the point I was just making is that if someone just gives you a genuine and sincere comment, like I take it very personally and seriously. I'm like, wow, hey, that actually means something. Thank you. That's actually very kind of you. And I try to reciprocate that as well. Like I don't just give out compliments. Like when I give someone a compliment, I really make it genuine and sincere, to the point that people now know that if I compliment you on something, I'm being genuine. I mean it, because I don't just hand those things out. I kind of forgot where I was going with that. Damn it, ADHD. Nah, I gotta stop blaming everything on that, honestly. There are ways to get control over it, and that it's just about making sure that you, it's just happened again, hasn't it? It's just happened again, hasn't it? I've just forgotten what I was talking about. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to be ending off this video anyway, so like whatever. I feel things very intensely, and this game definitely made a lasting impact on me. I'm not necessarily keeping my hopes up for Village, not because I don't think it's not going to be able to do that. I just prefer not to have expectations. I prefer to just go in there with a fresh perspective and fresh mindset and say, okay, this is a different game. Let's see what it has to offer. And in saying that, I guess that's also what I like to do in life. You know, every year I just take it, every month I take it as, okay, this is a new month, it's a new year, whatever it is, let's see what it's got and what it's got to give. Guys, I hope this video actually made sense, and I hope that now you guys kind of have an idea of where I'm at with things and why I like video games, why I enjoy theater and acting, and why I'm always so particular about music and games. And I just love the whole thing. I mean, I would love to make video games. I would love to be able to act in video games. What do they call it? Motion capture. That's what that is. I would love to do that in games, because then not only do I get to voice act, but then I also get to, well, act. I mean, that would be the coolest thing ever. It's like you get best of both worlds. I would love to do that, but how on earth I'm gonna get involved with that kind of stuff, I have absolutely no idea. But anyway, that's something for me to worry about. I really just love all this stuff. I'm so 100% totally just in love with the way that games are put together, the stories, and I think this was a very good story. It wasn't so science fiction-y that you looked at it and thought, well, this is just 100% totally unbelievable. It was actually somewhat believable. That's kind of what makes it so exciting. So anyway, guys, I think this video has gone on long enough. I think I've made my point, what video games really mean to me and how this game definitely impacted me. I know that there are people out there who are just like me, who feel exactly the same way about games, and there may be a few of you out there who feel the exact same way about this game that I do. So that's something pretty special, I think. Anyway, guys, we are now going into Resident Evil Village. I think it's going to be good. I think this is where we're going to end things off. I don't want to, because I love Resident Evil 7. It is my favorite game, and these peaceful moments where, you know, I'd put on the VR headset and just explore the mansion and explore the yard and all that stuff. Those were moments that I just needed to clear my head, you know. But anyway, guys, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much. Please take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in Resident Evil Village. Goodbye, everybody.